Hello folks, so welcome back to I've Been Playing. It's been a long time because I haven't had time to do anything for like the past 3.5 months, it feels like. But we're finally back, and today we're taking a look at Alan Wake 2. So I haven't finished the game quite yet. I think I've played about 8 or 9 hours of it, and considering it was one of the best received games of last year, it shouldn't be a surprise that I'm enjoying it. I'm bad at it, I keep dying, but I like it. There you go, there's your short review. But to give you more than that, obviously Alan Wake 2 is a continuation of Alan Wake, which I talked about a while ago. I talked about Alan Wake Remastered and how the first time I played Alan Wake, I didn't really like it all that much, and then I revisited it with the remastered version and I liked it a lot better, but that's also because I kind of knew the tone the game was going for. I had played Control, and I kind of understood the mood it was trying to convey, and like, also, I've watched Twin Peaks in between playing the original Alan Wake and playing Alan Wake Remastered, and it's not as Twin Peaksy as Deadly Premonition is, but I can definitely see the connections, and I can see the connections even more in this one, honestly, or like similarities. And since I brought up Control, this is a continuation of Alan Wake, and there's gonna be a lot you won't understand if you haven't played Alan Wake, or it's been a while since you've played Alan Wake, either one of those. But honestly, I feel like this is more a continuation of Control, because I thought there would be just like little hints and clues and interesting little connections that you could find somewhere if you looked for them, and it's like, no, this is just basically a continuation of Control, because the Federal Bureau of Control is mentioned like very early on, and you meet people from there, and there's just a lot of references to Control, so if you've played Alan Wake and not Control, I feel like you might be more lost than if you've played Control and not Alan Wake. So basically what I'm saying is that, I know this says 2, but sometimes people start with the second one in a series. Don't. Third one, I guess, if we're counting Control as the continuing universe, which we should because they're interconnected. So it's hard to talk about the plot of this. First of all, because I'm not done with it yet. Second of all, because it's kind of confusing. And third of all, because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't even know if I could, to be honest. But you play as both an FBI agent, Saga Anderson, and as Alan Wake. Various points, you can switch between the two. You have a Mind Palace for both of them. They're not called Mind Palaces, they're Mind Places, but it is the Mind Palace concept. And it's really interesting because the detective one, it's like a crime board, and you can make connections, and you have to make connections to make dialogue happen or make things in the world happen, sort of. That's more Alan Wake's part. He can write things into existence in certain places in the world, and it changes things around and opens up new paths. Typically with a detective, it's just, oh, I need to go do this at this place, rather than directly influencing the world, but the world is also constantly in flux, I guess. It's complicated. This one also is a bit more horror-y, that's really hard to say, than either of the other two are. I never really personally found Alan Wake particularly scary. I think that was part of the reason I didn't like it the first time, was because I went into it expecting it to be scarier than I found it, and I was kind of disappointed. But this one is spooky as shit in parts of it. There's one part where there's just, it's a little later into the game, but this shouldn't spoil anything. There's just creepy ass laughter coming out of a well, and it's the worst thing I've had to experience at 11:30 at night in a long time. They also have a sequence which I didn't actually record for myself, that's not a parallel for the ashtray maze from Control, but similar sequence, similar set piece, which was cool. The only problem with this one was that I kept dying in the middle of it, and it really loses some of the impact when you die 5 times and have to hear the same bit and see the same bit over and over again. Otherwise it was really cool. Song instantly got stuck in my head again, so that's fun. And I think that was the last part I've played. That's the last part I've been through before I had to go to bed. And I think with that, it kind of solidified for me, kind of like the Ashtray Maze did. Okay, yeah, this game is cool. Okay, yes, I like this game, despite the dying too many times. But that's my own fault, and that brings me to a point. I don't remember if I turned the difficulty of Control down, or I just suck, but I'm on normal difficulty and I'm having a lot of problems. I think the thing is, I'm finding it harder to, when there are enemies, because there aren't always enemies, it's kind of just spooky atmosphere for a lot of it, but there are monsters and things you have to fight, obviously. And I'm just, I don't know, I either never have enough supplies, or I'm bad at aiming, or they're really quick is a problem too, and it seems like the light doesn't slow them down as much as I would like it to. I'm having problems with the combat, and that's the only real problem I think I'm having with the game so far, because it's really cinematic. It's really interesting. It's bizarre as hell, but that's fine. I kind of expected that. But everything else about the game I'm enjoying. It's just the fact that, for me personally, I need to turn the difficulty down, is the answer. I just need to turn the difficulty down for myself, and I will enjoy it a lot more, because I will get less frustrated with the combat. So it's been a little while since I've done one of these, but that's all I can really say. I think that pretty much covers all of it. Oh, the live-action collectibles in this one, completely unhinged. Absolutely love them. They're always kind of silly. They've always been a little bit silly, like in a good way. But oh my god, I had to, after one of them, I had to pause for like 5 minutes because I just couldn't stop laughing at it. It was great. Absolutely ridiculous. So I guess overall my impression is that I really enjoy it. It's got a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff from the other games in it. So again, if for some reason you were thinking to start with Alan Wake 2, I mean you can. It is gonna make even less sense to you though than if you played the other games. I mean, I've played all of them, and I'm still a bit lost. Mostly it's just stuff that I don't remember from Alan Wake. Oh, and to that point, if you haven't played Alan Wake's American Nightmare, there are some references, not even references, but there's some stuff in there that you'll be like, where the hell did this come from? That's where, if you're wondering. Particularly the references to Scratch, because that's where he shows up. I keep like trying to get to my final point and not getting there, so I'll just say, I enjoy it. The combat's frustrating, but that might just be because I'm on a higher difficulty than I should be, because I'm impatient now, and I can only play games for fun for like 3 hours a week now. If you do want to play this, you should at least look up like a history of the series if you haven't played it, or even if you have, because there might be stuff you don't remember, or like I said, maybe you haven't played the spin-off. Is it even a spin-off if they're tying it into this one? I don't know. Good game though. Spooky, interesting, and it actually seems to be tying things together pretty well, despite how bizarre it is. Those are my impressions of the game so far. As I said, I'm only 8 or 9 hours into it. I don't think it's especially long, but that's not the whole game, so I don't know where it's going, how it's gonna tie all these things together. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to doing more of these, but like I said, I just feel like I don't have any free time to play games anymore. I'm either playing games for this or playing games because I have to write about games for one of my jobs now, and it's research, so it's not necessarily for fun, even though games are always fun. I don't have time, is my point. So I'm gonna do as many as I can. And I'll see you in another video at some point.